Hi everybody and welcome to today's technical analysis, and today we'll be looking at one of our favorite coin, and that is Ethereum. Also the way also people call it Ethereum, anyways, it's ETH. And so we'll be looking at ETH, and we'll be looking at this is the ETH chart on the 50 minutes time frame. Binance is our data source, right? And we've been looking at it. It had like quite a lot of rally for a while, but even though not as Bitcoin had, you could see down from the 1.5 area, right? You could see the moment it passed through this place and held it as support, right? Our next support was down here at the 1,588, and it just pierced through it, right? But we had to came back, come test the support, test it several times, and then we finally broke it, and now we are testing the support, right? And if we hold that, our next place for support or for our next resistance for ETH is actually around the $3,000 level. Wow, that's awesome. That's awesome. So we have a resistance at 1,800. And the next resistance should be around, yeah, around the 1,800 mark. This is actually the 30 minutes time frame, right? And so if we can successfully get through this resistance, right, our next point of call is around the 1,800 region, just around this period. Go down to the 1 hour. And while we're looking at this, because we already says every time that the market is a game of support and resistance, a game of support and resistance. So if we do not exceed a resistance, we're going to come back to support, right? And then as you can see, we've broken this support. We're also at another resistant place, even though the ETH chart seems a little scattered, but I'm hoping the moment we cross the 1,740 region, right, our next line of support should be around the 1,800 region, right? So just put that in mind, right? Even though there's high likelihood we could still come down and test the 1,600 and so 65 region right before going up, right? So that's something you should take note of. We could just have something like this, just comes down, hits it, and then poop back up. So that's something you should take note of that could happen on the Ethereum price chart. And we could see, right, even on the higher time frames, everything is confirming, right, what we've said. Hopefully, we're testing resistance here, and we could see a huge breakout down to around 1,900, 1,008 first, and then the 1,009, and then the 2,000, right? So we're expecting a huge breakout for Ethereum, right? So set your stops, right? The 4 hours time frame concur with that. If we go to the 8 hour time frame, gives us a whole new view, right, of what we are talking about. Having that, we have our next resistance around just 2,000, right? So the 180 is not some sort of a big resistance. So our next resistance is 2,000. So we should be expecting probably some sideways action, and then pew, we're back to our upward, we're back to the $2,000 region, right? And so I don't believe, as you can see, we're already at a resistance point, right? If you can exceed this down to the 1,800, if we exceed that, and then we're looking at the $2,000 region. And even on the daily, we could see the same thing happening. But let's check our indicators. What are our indicators saying? This is Ethereum on another chart. We check it on the monthly time frame. As you can see, very close to Bitcoin, very oversold on the stock RSI, close to very oversold also on the RSI, even though we still have some little price reduction, but you can see there's this bullish divergence both on the stock RSI, on the monthly and on the weekly. right? Looking at it, we can see that we are at resistance. Hopefully, we break that resistance and don't come back crashing, because we could see a bearish divergence on the stock RSI. So be very, very careful, right? It could have some little downward side just for the stock RSI to reset before we continue going upwards, right? And that's on the weekly. On the daily, considering the merge coming, so we could just have some little push up down to the 19,000 stroke 1 to $2,000 region. As you can see, the stock RSI is facing upwards, right? As you can see, the RSI also giving us a very, very bullish divergence. On the daily, we can see we are very, very overbought, and then we just need some cooling down a little bit before we continue going upward. As you can see, very, 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 very overbought on stock RSI. So we need some cooling down, so we can see Ethereum get maybe even to the 1,400 region, one to the 1,500 region, just some little cool off before we could see an upward price action. Going down to the smaller time frames in a couple of hours, 12 hours, we could see that there's a little bearish divergence just for us to correct a little, for us to continue going up. Same thing happening with our stock RSI, same thing with our MACD. So just be careful, right? I wouldn't short this move if I was you. Rather, I'll position myself for a long at about the 1,641 mark, right? So that when you see a small correction, we could just long, right? This not financial advice. Take note. As you can see, we're correcting. As you can see, both the 4-hour time frame on the MACD confirming our bias that we actually need some little correction downwards before going up. Probably, right? Should be expecting to see Ethereum at 1,600 in the next few hours before we move up. Hopefully, right, even on the 1 hour, same thing, we could see just the Bolunda band squeezing together. Probably we just have some little downside before we go up. Same thing we could see on the stock RSI and both the MACD. So generally with Ethereum, we're expecting some little correction both to the 1,600 level before we push upward, probably to the 1,900 stroke $2,000 mark, considering that we have the merge coming up in a few days and we could see it, right, go to astronomical numbers. So if you like the video, please do not forget to like, do not forget to subscribe, and do not forget to share with your friends. All right, have a great day and God bless.